doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L Podcast.
Rockin' and rollin'. Afro Nation is coming to Detroit, and we have the co-founder here. Please introduce yourself to everybody real quick.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? I go by the name Smade. I'm the co-founder of Afro Nation.
Talk about bringing Afro Nation to Detroit. You guys have over 950,000 followers on Instagram and a huge following worldwide. Talk about bringing this event to Detroit.
Well, coming to Detroit again, actually. We were here last year.
Oh, cool.
Yes, it was one of the, I like to say, when people didn't know what to expect. It was shocking to a lot of people, to see the level of production and what we delivered. First of all, Afro Nation is a festival that celebrates us, showcases our culture, our artists, our music. I always say, it's beyond music, really. It's a movement. It showcases us all, our identity, who we are. And coming to Detroit, was based on, the community, impact that Detroit has already. Coming down was just natural for it to be a success, really, because we have a lot of people coming from different parts of the world, coming to Detroit to celebrate, being black, our music, and the community, Detroit.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys have one of the biggest artists in the world. Lil Wayne is going to be headlining.
Correct, yes.
And then you have my favorite artist of all time, Kash Doll.
Kash Doll.
Kash Doll will be performing. So that's freaking awesome. Talk about the Detroit lineup, artists that are from the city that are going to be a part of the show.
So, last year we had Dej Love, before putting that on, we came here on a visit, got to know the community, got to know Detroit, knew who was the king and queen, and on ground. So we got to connect. We met Dej, and she performed last year, brought that energy from the locals. It was really amazing to see her come perform at her, and had a good show. So this year we thought, why not have another female in Kash Doll? She's had her own long history, with the community and building up here. And I also noticed that she was on your podcast recently.
She pulled up.
Yeah, I checked out, and she represented well. I've been checking you out too. So
Thank you.
So we have Kash Doll, and we have some DJs, some local DJs on ground here, and we have a lot of community people that are part of this, really, behind the scenes. And we have Love PR, Love Publicity, Tia and a team, and there's a lot of creatives in the background that you don't see, that people don't see, that has been putting in work since we stepped into Detroit to put this together.
Well, it sounds like it's heavily orchestrated with a lot of care, and it's like you guys are paying attention to the scene. You guys are really focusing in on who is an influence to the scene and who has broke a lot of ground in the community, which is very important, because some people come and run events in the city where they don't know anything about the culture except for the fact that they know how to sell tickets. But you guys being involved in it, and you guys having the background and understanding of it, means a lot, I'm sure, for the city. And why there's a part to it is there's a reason for that, obviously, right? Talk about yourself a little bit. You said earlier from Nigeria.
Correct.
Talk about your life in Nigeria before you even came out this way.
My life in Nigeria was interesting.
Yeah.
I grew up in Nigeria. I was the first son of 13 children. Nigeria is not as cool as we have it here, or in the UK. But there's a saying that if you grow up in Nigeria, you can be successful anywhere you go to around the world. And I think I've just proven that. I grew up, I spent 19 good years in Nigeria, studying, learning, the etiquette and the OT of being, an African. Because that's something that's really, really powerful. And that's something that's really helped my journey, to understand coming back from a place like Africa and moving to the UK at the age of 19, having to, teach the world where I'm coming from, my identity, to point to the world despite whatever I'm receiving, and to continuously, promote and showcase where I'm coming from, my identity. And I use music, music was the bait. Music was the one that was going to travel real quick. I thought about food, thought about fashion, but music did it for us. And it was at a time when Apple Music, Spotify, Bloomberg, and all the other social media platforms for music was just, coming up. So it was just the perfect timing, because then I moved to the UK. I started creating little parties in my house, as a student. From the house parties, we moved on to the clubs. From the clubs, I met the young superstars that you see today in the Wizkid, the Davidos, the Burna Boys, the Olamides, the Tiwa Savages, all the superstars you see today. Wow. I met them, and we started building shows for them, putting them on different shows, and then tours. Started taking them around, not just London, but all around, Birmingham, Manchester, Coventry. It was like touring the US, basically, not just coming down to Detroit. Yeah. That was what I was doing for them. So it got so big, and, it got to a stage where everybody was like, what's going to be the next thing? I wanted to be the African Live Nation, got inspired by Live Nation doing multiple events, right. And it became my case study in uni, where I wanted to produce a big global festival, that would become, as global as Afro Nation that it is right now today. And then it didn't have a name, but I met my business partner, Asake, who was already head of talent at Event Horizon, and we shared a lot of vision and dreams about where we want to take, the culture and the music industry to. And yeah, we came together, met other business partners, and there comes the birth of the biggest black festival in the world, Afro Nation. And since we created Afro Nation, there's been a lift amongst, people of culture. There's been, everybody has just believed that, they are somebody, they've got some gift and they've got some talent. So Afro Nation has changed a lot of lives, because everywhere we go to, it's life changing. It's a level of production you've never seen before. Yes. The stages, the people, the food, the ambience, the aura, the energy, the vibe. It's just beautiful, Yes. It's beautiful to see people come from different parts of the world. They don't even know themselves, but they come together, and music brings them together, culture brings them together, and they're celebrating themselves. Right. Thinking about over 170 people from different parts of the world coming to a community like Detroit. Yes. So it does a lot. It does empower. It's a shift. A lot of people come here to invest. Yes. A lot of people spend money to come here for those shows. So it's beyond just bringing artists down here to perform, and, just get on stage and dance. No, it's a movement. Yes. We want to continue to do this. We want people to know who they are and continue to come out in numbers for shows like this. No,
it's a beautiful message, and to hear it from you the way you say it feels so authentic and genuine. Nick, are you good?
I just want to get the stand off the couch and squeaking a little bit.
Okay, cool. He's gonna move your microphone real quick.
Tia, are you good? Yeah.
That should be good.
Okay, cool.
Can you do me a quick favor, sir? And just kind of wiggle like this a little bit. Just kind of move your body. Yeah.
There you go. Get ready for the festival.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah. Movements are huge. Like EDM music has its own festivals now. It's really been taking over. Rock has its own festivals. I mean, at one point, what was it? Woodstock was humongous, man, right?
Yeah.
Woodstock was like
Yeah.
the biggest thing in the world for people that were like-minded to just get together and celebrate life, right?
Yeah.
And this, it's its own thing, obviously, because we're more talking about culturalistic aspects of the celebration of it from
Correct.
your culture. UK too, man. has so many legendary historical bands and
Yes.
musicians and entertainers. I'm pretty sure Radiohead is from the UK, right?
Yeah.
And the Beatles, obviously.
Yeah.
So they've been just dominating music since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Talk about the music scene over in the UK right now, man. What's been happening? Are you feeling the same aliveness that's been since like the 50s till the early 2000s?
Afro Beats is taking over. There's nothing that is more interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it was just going to happen someday
Yeah.
because there's authenticity in our music, in Afrobeat music. And it's giving birth to so many other genres. Like you can see, you know, from the French community, Francophone growing up strong. You know, you can see Amapiano blowing up everywhere. So yeah, Afrobeat just took the lead, but there's still so much more coming. So, and you know, not saying, you know, the culture, the cultural aspect of the musical cultural aspect of the UK is dead, but you know, they need to infuse the Africans into it. They need to infuse all these other genres into what they're doing right now, because that's what's taking the lead. You know, we did something while building up to where we are right now. We wanted to be like the hip hop, the Afro swings, you know, people making music from the diaspora. And that's what's made us this successful. And now that we're taking the lead and looks like Afrobeat is, you know, the way forward, I'm just going to advise everybody to just join the movement and make collaborations with Afrobeat arts. You know, either they have access to be in this space or not. There's so many of them back home, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just Nigerian acts, also Ghanaian acts, Congolese acts, Kenyan acts, you know, South African acts are doing amazing, you know, with their sound right now. So yeah, it gets bigger when you understand the power of collaboration. The power of coming together.
What's been the biggest hurdle so far of getting awareness for these events or for these festivals? Has everything been kind of easygoing as far as getting people to have awareness about them?
I wish everything was easygoing. You know, you always have issues of, you know, financial investment, you know, support from everybody. You know, we're not only talking about financial investors here, we're talking about investment from everybody, you know, because we all have a part to play in what's going on. You have a part to play. You've invited me down here and you're playing your part, I believe, you know. So if everybody out there understands their gift, their talent, and there's a part for them to play in this and whatever is going on, either monetarily or just to serve or to show love and support, you know, so you would understand who you are. You would even understand your gift more and, you know, believe more in what you're doing. And it's a win-win. Our tickets are doing very well. People are more interested in this culture, and it's a movement. It's beyond music. You know, it's the food aspect of it. You know, there's always jollof wars. Which jollof is better? You know, you heard that before?
No,
You never heard that before. Okay,
no.
There's this jollof wars that goes on between, you know, and it's a healthy competition. It's just to say who cooks it better. You know. The jollof rice, you know, it's just a mixture of the rice and the pepper sauce. Who's founded it, who cooks it better. So there's always this war that goes on between Senegal, Ghana, Gambia, and Nigeria.
Right.
You know, so but coming from Nigeria, I can tell you Nigeria is always a winner, right?
I think in the UK there's like this debate about who came up with chicken tikka masala.
Yeah, that too.
It's like a huge controversy. Like, was it Americans? Was it the UK? Or was it
Yeah,
India? Right?
Correct.
Where do you think chicken tikka masala came
India. The name says it all. India.
from?
But, you know, whoever made it might have been born Indian, but born in the UK, you know, so you can debate or argue based on the identity of whoever created it.
When you're talking about African food in Michigan or in the States itself, I found like a couple Jamaican restaurants and stuff like that, or restaurants that kind of try to cater towards, but it's very difficult to actually find like straight up African, like overseas type food. Have you been to anything over here that resembles that?
Yes. So I haven't been to. I think there was one I went to today called Fork Nigeria. What is it called? Fork in Nigeria. So yeah, and before coming here, I've been to several other states and cities. You know, I was in Texas. I went to Houston, Dallas. You know, and I was in DC. You know, the DMV is huge, and there's just new restaurants, and the food industry is just growing, you know, extensively, and I'm excited about that.
Do you think it's authentic to like what it is, replicate like what it is overseas though?
Oh no, we're stronger over there. You know, so I mean, are you talking about in Nigeria?
Yeah.
No. You know, they can't even match what's going on in the UK right now.
Yeah.
UK, every high street, 5 minutes, you're able to get your suya and jollof rice. Here, you're gonna have to drive like 20 minutes or 15 minutes to get it. You have to wait hours for your Uber to deliver. You know, but UK is smaller. You know, it's a smaller town, city. You know, whatever you call it. But it's a smaller community where you can reach anywhere within minutes. Yeah. But here, it's still going to be a lot. I think the US, the community for me is where we were in the UK 10 years ago. Wow. So there's still a lot to build here. You know, we've managed to make the UK the hub of so many things. Music, you know, our culture, our entertainment as a whole. People are there. Like, there's so many creatives in the UK. And we have that here too in the US. And I believe that with what we're doing with Afro Nation and myself and a lot of other ambassadors out there, we can build and forge a community, you know, where everybody kind of pours into each other.
When people who are from outside of the culture come to these events, do you see any type of transformation from within them? Do you see any type of difference from when they come in to when they leave?
Yes, 100%. You know, all the time. Even as a co-founder, I tend to like go into the crowd, you know, and instill, you know, that joy into people and pour joy into people and create the vibe. And I see a lot of people from, like, I'll give you an example. We just came back from Portugal and a group of ladies came to me, we're from Pakistan. You know, we love what you do and we'll be following you. Thank you so much for doing this. So like, you know, and it's in the sense of music. Some people that don't even know about the sound might come to watch, for example, Nicki Minaj was in Portugal. We've got Lil Wayne here in Detroit. So they might not know about the sound. You know, the sound might be new to them. And them coming to watch Lil Wayne or Nicki Minaj would ultimately introduce them to the African sound. That's where the merging comes and from. And then we grab you from there, and then you're interested in the sound. And that's how it spreads, you know. So
yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mainstream artists are the allure for people who aren't aware yet of the sounds of Afro beats, right? And then once they hear like Nicki Minaj and then they come to the festival and then they're hearing all these different sounds, it's like, this is amazing and I want to get more involved in this, right?
Yeah.
Especially with these days with like the music being so, it kind of feels so press play where you're not feeling like a genuine soulful connection with the music as much. But when you go to like ethnic music or you go to like foreign sounds, it's like, wow, I feel like in the UK or I feel like overseas in Australia, the sounds are still very genuine to the heart. Like there's a lot of soul still being placed in it. And with Afrobeats, it sounds like that's an integral part for it to exist in the first place. Like it can't not exist without that integral aspect of the sounds, right? So talk about where the sounds of the music come from. I mean, I'm sure you can't go back to the origination of it too far, but can you talk about the timeline a little bit of the development of the sound?
Well, from the time I was born and the history that I know so far, it's just, you know, sound and music that's been there before anyone can remember. You know, it's culture. It's part of being who we are, you know, and no one can really say how this sounds were created, but from the representation from Fela, you know, the King Sonia days, you know, and the highlife legends from Ghana, and those that have been there before us. You know, all this is what we've grown up, you know, to understand. I grew up listening to my father playing all these sounds, you know, and that got me into it. You know, that made me understand this is my culture, this is my sound. You know, the drums, you know, the instruments, and the fact that most people from Africa got introduced to music through churches. You know, you're either in the choir or, you know, you're part of a group, a young group of, religious group of, you know, singing group, you know, so be it. You know, that's sound. And, you know, it's important for us to also learn music in school. If you grow up in Nigeria, you must learn music. You know, so music has been a part of our art and culture, and it's a part of us. So, and like I said earlier, I use it as bait because we all love music. The old, the young, you know, everybody loves music. My mom used to dance to music from a young age, watching her in the kitchen cooking. My father in the car is always vibing to music. So music has always been a part of me. And, you know, we have the legends like Fela Anikulapo Kuti, you know, who Afro Beats was actually tapped from. You know, he used to, you know, he had a band called Afro Beats Band, you know, and that's where Afro Beats came from. You know, because we needed someone who could represent, a legend, who could represent like our music genre at the start when we were looking for a name to call this buzz, you know, to call this music, African music buzz at the time. So we called the Afrobeats Festival initially, and then the tabloids, the press came and were like, okay, we're just going to brand it Afrobeats genre. And that's how, you know, from throwing a festival called Afrobeats Music Festival, you know, and that was created by myself, Coco Bar. You know, we had an MC who was also a DJ, Abrante. You know, we had Phoenix Media, who now manages Asake. You know, Coco Bar now manages Burna Boy. You know, they're part of the touring team for this particular artist. And myself, who now, you know, is the founder of Afro Nation and, you know, taking this global, you know.
No, it's a beautiful thing, man. I know my friend Chanel, she really helps facilitate anybody that's coming to work with the city in any type of magnitude. She helps facilitate that, and she helped get you here, which is very awesome. Talk about your connection with her and how you guys have been.
Who is that? That's for you.
What?
That's
so Chanel contacted you to contact an Olga, so you would know more than he would know about it. Okay.
Yeah, she would know more.
Well, shout out Chanel either way. Shout out to Chanel for making this
Hello,
happen.
Chanel.
Very, very dope. Is there anything you want to talk about before we close out?
Yeah, basically, I'd love to talk more about the festival.
Yes,
you know, the fact that it's the second time we're coming.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't turn up last year because they didn't know what to expect, and you know, now that you know, I hope everybody's gonna turn up.
Yeah.
You know, the tickets are very affordable. We have some limited tickets. We want you to tell your viewers about this show.
For sure.
I want to see you at the festival.
I will be
want to
there.
make sure you're there.
Promise you.
You know, you promise?
I promise you I will be there.
Good.
And
good.
listen, man, on Instagram, not to you know brag, but 100 to 200,000 people are gonna see this clip. You know what I'm saying?
Sweet. I like that. I like that.
People are gonna come
so we're expecting at least 10% of that from you, right?
Well, look, man, and look, you got Kash, you got Lil Wayne pulling. That's it. I mean, Lil Wayne alone is gonna close out the entire sales for it, and then Kash Doll, obviously. But I think because I have been seeing it circulate, regardless of those names, I have been seeing it circulate on social media that a lot of people are interested in tuning into it. And right now, Detroit is so much. There's so much invested in the community right now that just the name of it alone is intriguing people. Like, what is this Afro Nation? Obviously, it has to do with my culture, where I'm from, when Detroiters are looking at it. So that's gonna bring them to it. I know last year maybe the awareness wasn't as easy, but it's always the second or third time that everything pops off, right?
Yeah,
You always
yeah.
take that one or two time.
Yeah.
Talk about the festivities throughout the day. What can people look forward to while they're there?
Yeah, there's so many things going on. I always tell people to prepare themselves to, even though it's a two-day festival.
Like bring a
You know,
seatbelt.
yeah, definitely. Obviously, safety first. Always stay dehydrated. Always drink loads of water. Always have a friend around you. Let a friend know your whereabouts at all times. Don't go home with no strangers. Is that very important? We want a safe festival. We had a incident-free event last year, and we want to maintain that. That's safety first. And now let's talk about the experience. The experience is going to be crazy. A lot of excitement. A lot of people are going to be like, wow, this is amazing, because understanding that there's a huge percentage of people that didn't come last year that are looking to come this year is amazing. A lot of people want to see Lil Wayne, Kash, PartyNextDoor, Asake, and Rema, and then the Amapiano stage is always popping as well. So, come for the experience, come see the VIP village. We also have the VVIP section, which we call the Sky Terrace, more like, you have some real high networking people there. So you have to buy tables for that.
Cool.
We have the GA, there's different parts of this festival to experience. So I would say come ready, there's food, there's drinks, come show off your culture, your flags, whatever you feel like you represent. Feel free to come and be you.
Cool, man. I appreciate you guys doing this. This is awesome. Appreciate the beard pulling up.
Yeah.
Make sure it's shiny
The
for
beard pulled up.
Yeah,
Not
man.
me. Not me.
Or make sure as many people as possible see this, man, because
Come
it
on,
does
man.
feel like it's coming from a genuine place.
It
and
is.
a real soulful place. The energy in this room is glowing, and I feel like everybody in here is for the right reasons, so it's a really beautiful thing.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully everybody pulls up, man. Kash Doll, I will see you there. I'll make sure to be watching front row. I'll make sure to be popping out there. But to really experience everything you're talking about is very exciting, and it's something different because, around Michigan, it's like a lot of rap and a lot of rock and stuff like that. But to actually feel like a culture is specifically showcasing everything that the culture is very intriguing. That's what I think people are going to be excited about.
Thank you.
We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High Level Visuals, Shootings, Productions. Anything else you want to say? Was I cutting you off? Was that it?
No.
That was good. We're good.
I was just going to say, shout out to everyone. Shout out to yourself. Shout out to every creative out there.
Yeah.
Everyone, keep your dreams alive. You have a gift. Serve with it.
Yes, sir. Parallel Sound Studio hosties, High Level Visual Shootsies. We're out. Peace.